All this talk of snow this week, we picked up some new viewers, T-Rex. Maybe some people don't realize what day it is. It's called Not in a Hurry Sunday, and you're doing a great job at it, though. It's time to go. Slowly, we go out the door on this Sunday morning, just past 8 a.m. Do you think you'll be joining us this morning, Steve? You always seem to not be in a hurry getting out the door, but one person that's always in a hurry is a T-Rex. Are you a person, T-Rex? 1, 2, 3, and out the door. You're like a person, T-Rex. You got a fun attitude. We got a fun sky on this. We call it Not in a Hurry Sunday because my favorite plan on a Sunday is no plan, not go anywhere. I do a lot of editing. I did 100 short videos yesterday at the Southern New England Weather Conference and the Charlie Orloff retirement celebration. How much of that am I going to get to share? We had a world champion accordionist. CPez was in the house. 50 degrees, just about 48 degrees, and it's getting kind of cold inside the house too. We are in a cold air mass, but it's old cold, and there's no new cold on the way, but it's still unstable because even though there's higher pressure now, we still have an upper level low, so it's both stable with high pressure and unstable with upper level low. And today, the thickest clouds are out over the ocean. That's a little different than sometimes. Oh, look who came out today. Yay. Steve, all right, you get to keep your name on the marquee. Some of the viewers were suspect that I may have to renegotiate the contract. The contract is you're furry and warm and fun, and we feed you. And Mitt is in the house watching from inside. So this is a little different today where you have the subsidence over the land and the rising air over the ocean. And this is going to be an issue going forward. How much of an ocean storm or ocean effect precipitation are we going to get over the next 3 days before a potential nor'easter, which is looking less and less like a nor'easter? There is some precipitation out there. Where should we start? Should we just go to the tropics where, as forecast by most of the computer guidance and the forecasters at the National Hurricane Center, rapid intensification happened from a tropical storm to a Category 4, borderline Category 5 hurricane this morning. 120 miles southeast of Kingston, Jamaica is monstrous Melissa. And it's likely going to a Category 5 if it has not already by press time here, and it's only moving slowly to the west. Each one of those red dots there indicate the strength, and when they turn purple, that's a Category 5, and they're about 12 hours apart. So you can see as the dots get farther apart, that means that the storm is going to be accelerating, but not until landfall, which is still about 48 hours away on Tuesday. Looks like the southwest side of the island. I guess one of the graces is that the core of the hurricane force wind is only about 50 mile wide. So on the outskirts of the storm, it's mostly just rain and not destructive wind. But the core may expand a little bit, and it's like a 50-mile wide tornado, really. And there's the landfall predicted by the Deep Mind for southwestern St. Elizabeth Parish there in Jamaica on Tuesday morning. And then it does start moving faster, so it's going to be a grueling 48 hours, but then the storm will move off Jamaica during Tuesday night, and then it's Cuba's turn. It will be having weakened a little bit, and then what happens after that? It looks like it does clip the southeasternmost Bahamas, and Bermuda may be in its sights, but most of the guidance has shifted east again with the system. There are lots of different ways you can look at this. We've been using Deep Mind, so we'll just keep it on Deep Mind there with the storm moving well southeast of us and maybe even missing Bermuda to the east on probably Wednesday or Thursday. But the interaction, like we've been doing all summer long, now into autumn, of what happens with these tropical systems and the fronts that have stalled off of New England just about every week since springtime. And there's been a backlash on the backside of these cold high-pressure systems with how the storms evolve. And we've been talking about how Cape Cod's been getting the most rain. And is that going to happen again this week? So many moving pieces to this puzzle. And wait till you see the day 10. I almost want to show the day 10 first, because yesterday we stopped the map on what would stop it on Monday or Tuesday. There was a front. Here's timeout. Rex, we're trying to concentrate here. You know, I memorize these maps. We're not in a hurry, but it's hard to relax when you're sitting there barking. Come, just wait. Rex, you come. Good boy. Sorry, I wanted to illustrate the changes that happen. 10-day forecasts are maddening. So let's go out to next Tuesday. Here's the guidance from yesterday. And there was a warm ridge in the east and temperatures pushing the 60s here. Now we got a blue jay squawking at us. Oh my goodness. And a cold high pressure system in the northwest with the blue lines in the northwest and the red lines in the southeast. That would have been cold in the west and warm in the east. Now let's go to the latest guidance. This is now day 9. Just about day 10, next Tuesday, same time frame, 8 o'clock next Tuesday morning, and now it's cold in the east and warm in the west, with the front, instead of going from Lake Superior to Wyoming, now the front is down towards Georgia and then up toward Lake Superior. Complete seesaw from yesterday. You know how seesaws work, they go up and down, and that's how the weather forecasts go. Weather moves in waves, and weather forecasts move in waves. You know what's the best and easiest weather? Yesterday's weather. We'll see that at the end more in a few minutes. And today's weather. What's happening this morning? Well, I've seen snowflakes on several cams. The Wildcat camera this morning, a little glimpse through the clouds over towards Mount Washington. So we do have some dendrites, we call them, snowflakes, not just rime ice. A little coating there at the top of Wildcat. That's at over 4,000 feet. And also the cams, let's see, at Killington, the snow guns are not on, and I did see a couple of snowflakes on the Northridge cam. And today's the last day for mountain biking at Killington, and they're talking in their report about turning on the guns when it gets cold enough. See, the fog there indicates that the wet bulb and the temperature and the dew point are very close to 32. You want your wet bulb down in the 20s to efficiently make snow, so I think that's the excuse there. And they see a warm-up coming in a few days, so they're saying, well, and this is my mind, just what they're thinking, it's probably not cold enough long enough to make substantial snow, so why waste resources? Even though it's fun to see, it's been delayed. A few weeks ago, I was thinking it was going to be snowing by now, and it is snowing technically on Mount Washington. This is the 7th day in a row of snow. And those, we had a rep from Mount Washington at the conference yesterday saying, I don't think those are bugs. I think they're ice. She said, I don't know. They look like bugs to me, but it's snowing again this morning on Mount Washington. And we're now up to just over 6.5 inches since last Monday when it started snowing. And if you include what happened a week ago, before that, a 0.4, we're over 7 inches of snow for October. And the average for October on Mount Washington is 19 inches of snow. So we'll see how the rest of this week plays out, but it's definitely shifting towards a warmer solution. Here's the satellite image of the Northeast, and there's the front stalled off to our south with waves of low pressure going across on the south side of this high pressure system. And you have the clouds with the instability and the upper level low over southeastern Canada, and the ocean effect clouds with cold air over relatively warm water. That's the reason for the clouds out over the ocean that we are watching, and it looks like I may even get into some precipitation here as the wind gradually comes around from the north and even northeast during the day today. National radar shows a big storm that's come into the northwest. This is something that is confounding the global model guidance, because it's moving more toward the east and toward the southeast than the guidance had it a few days ago. And so now it is snowing in Wyoming today with that storm. And there's severe weather over the Gulf. Louisiana woke up to a tornado watch and tornado warnings this morning near New Orleans. So there's a Gulf storm, but most of the guidance now tries to take that Gulf storm east and due south of New England on Tuesday into Wednesday. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a few minutes. And a few specks showing up here in the Northeast. And here's the surface map this afternoon from Weather Prediction Center, and there's our high with those little green specks with some blue dots in northern New England for the instability. The high pressure system comes over us, and there's no new cold, so that old cold high is going to be here for a few days, but each day it's going to get a little less cold at, I think, most levels of the atmosphere, except for near Cape Cod, where the wind's going to come in off the ocean, and the ocean's getting colder, and there are going to be clouds of precipitation. So why don't we go to the Euro now and see how this all plays out. So there's the storm. It's just at the southern end of the map. You see that? Now, we knew, I didn't talk about it that much, that there was going to be one low escaping to the south of New England Monday into Tuesday, and there it goes, but the front was going to be stalled off to its west, and the next low was going to come north, and that was the one that was forecast to intensify so dramatically. And now note that the storms in the northwest are not going into Canada. They're moving more toward the southeast, so that's going to sharpen the trough over the middle of the nation, and that's going to kind of pump a ridge on the east coast. So no longer are we looking at a coastal storm. We're now looking at more of an inland storm storm. So there it is coming in on Wednesday night and Thursday. It's slower now, and it looks more like a wave on a warm front than an ocean storm. We'll stop it now on Halloween. And this is 11 a.m. on October 31st, and there is a low going up over Ohio into Ontario, and that's going to have more power than a wave of low pressure coming across Long Island at that point with some serious isobars. It's going to have the look and a feel of a nor'easter here as the warmer air overruns the cold, some really heavy rain and winds from the east and the northeast. On the north side of that front, gusting past 40 or 50 miles an hour. And I didn't really show it too much, but on Cape Cod, that precipitation may arrive on Tuesday and Wednesday. I hope you were watching that. And then it comes in for all of us there on Thursday night and Friday. So it's slowed down, and we can go south. And there's Hurricane Melissa, looking deeper than it did yesterday. The Euro was kind of out of it yesterday. So maybe we can just totally discount that Euro from yesterday, except for the fact that it looks like this storm coming up the coast is going to be more of an inside runner, as we call them. And that's heartbreaking when you're trying to forecast snow at a ski area, because the counterclockwise circulation, cyclonic flow, and when the low goes to your west, your air comes from the south, and that's those red lines there. And Tucker Antico yesterday was saying, I thought maybe it would be 70 on Friday. And I said, where'd you get that idea? He goes, it just looked like it with the storm going up to our north and maybe the wind coming in from the west. Well, it's not out of the question, Tucker, but the cold air is right on the backside of that. So let's put it back into motion. Should we take a break for this barge? Barge coming in, very colorful. Love these. Look at the colors behind it. The sun on the barge, the clouds over the ocean. So yeah, ocean effect precipitation is likely in eastern Massachusetts over the next several days. So that's going to be something we'll have to keep an eye on. Steve, you want to come over here? So Steve and T-Rex, once again, are tangled because they like to go around anything they possibly can. All right, Rex, you're more free now. And Steve, you can come over here. And we're going to resume that Euro there with that front coming across, a warm front here on Halloween, and it looks like the rain, if this is right, I mean, what good are these forecasts after 5 days, could be ending in time for trick-or-treating on Friday night and Halloween. So hopefully the witches of Salem are not going to get too soaked, and the tourists that all come to Salem and keep me out of there. And then it keeps on going north, and the storm is to our north. Now, when you have low pressure to your north instead of high pressure, that's called low barometer cold, but it is turning colder with cold air advection and some upslope precipitation, perhaps mixing back from rain to snow, but it looks like all rain for our mountains on even New York now, with that low going so far to our west. And then high pressure building off to the west is now a cold high, and this is where it's so different than yesterday, where yesterday it looked like we were going to have a ridge building in the east. Now it looks like a broad trough in southern Canada and the ridge building in the west. The seesaw, and as Dr. Usolini said yesterday, the windshield wiper effect on the computer models confounds forecasters. So that's the end of the forecast here. That would be a cold, sweeping wind and no sign of a storm in the Gulf, by the way, at that point. That has raced off to the south and east. And you're going to see this going back and forth as we go through not only the next 3 days, but then especially with those coastals next week. And it was close enough. Melissa was actually close enough to infuse some moisture into that coastal next Thursday or Friday. So that's still looking like a fairly big ticket item. And another thing Dr. Usolini enlightened me on was the fact that the Euro deepens low pressure too much. So that's why we see some crazy low barometer outputs from the Euro. And so I guess that's it for the weather. Steve, thanks for coming out. Viewers missed you and needed you. So yesterday, what a long day at the Southern New England Weather Conference, emceed by Cindy Fitzgibbon. Great job. And we got a winter forecast from Judah Cohen remotely and Kevin Lemanowitz. We'll talk somewhat about that. We had great presentations from reps at Mount Washington. That was a lot of fun. And mostly fun was meeting all the new friends and old future meteorologists, current meteorologists, veteran meteorologists, and then Charlie Orloff celebrating his 27 years and now retiring from the executive director position at the Blue Hill Observatory. And out in the parking lot with Henry, and New England's weatherman, and all the other weather. You're either a weather geek or a future Met or a meteorologist, but we're all in the same weather club. We all have the same passion, and it's so fun to get together with everybody. So I have 100 videos. I'm going to edit down to about another 10 or 15 minutes left with the and more. and more. Seat heat is on. We're en route to the at least 25th annual Southern New England Weather Conference. It morphed on us. Always like this. Pretty trees as we get close to the base of the Blue Hill. Now this event is not at the Observatory. It's at Meditech. Wait to see how pretty that campus is. Gorgeous. Meditech. Now, I say 25th annual-ish, but these really started like 40 years ago. We used to have them up at the ski areas, and then they were hosted by the TV stations, then the National Weather Service, and now Blue Hill Observatory and the Weather Service and the TV stations kind of all working together. Out the door at the Southern New England Weather Conference. Look at this. Henry's Weather Channel. Oh yeah. Henry's been watching weather since he was a little kid. He's got a...
We have an incredible lineup of speakers, engaging panels, and opportunities for discussion as well, and hopefully you'll take advantage of that. Warm welcome to Dr. Lewis.
My wife said, "Who's that?" And I said, "Charlie Orloff." She says, "What do you want?" I said, "I don't know, but I think I just got volunteered for the other take-home message for those students or work with students is life is really changing with the weather bridge. That's the basics. And then you have to have one dissemination network, not 6 under capacity dissemination networks that we had when they took over in 2013. The national blended models, the forecast starting point, fully integrated field structure through a collaborative forecast. You got to get consistency. Social science helps you with that and helps you design the products and services you need.
Jackie Bellefontaine is currently the school programs coordinator for Mount Washington Observatory. She first joined Mount Washington as a winter intern in early 2021, then became a weather observer and education specialist. She grew up in Falls.
Say it's winter time and it's all snow. They take that snow in. This is a very fun part of the job. It can be challenging because this is a relatively exposed point on the summit. So you are getting battered by the wind. And your goal is to keep that can up straight, right? You don't want to spill it out. And because it's snow and we want to get some snow depth as well, we don't want to shake it around too much and slosh it and skew it to one side. So we have to keep that up as straight as possible. It's fun, it's a challenge. You can watch the videos. I'm talking about this because I like to do it as a weather observer. I've sat down before and scooted into the building to make sure that can stayed up straight. Yeah, the good old butt scoot, it works. And then you bring it inside. We get the snow depth, so we use our measuring stick there, and we take an average of that snow depth, and then we melt it down to get the liquid equivalent of it. And that is what our weather observer Alex here is doing. So we pour it.
Some friends from summertime. Caitlin, good to see you again. I see a lot of friendly faces in the room. Rick, so what are we doing here? Who wants to describe it?
We're doing some silly middle school thing for stacking blocks that I thought I outgrew.
Ed, are you working on this?
I'm observing.
Caitlin, what are we supposed to be doing?
We are supposed to put blocks and stack them in towers based on how much precipitation per month.
And what'd you get?
I got Canada. They're really like high quality.
Canada looks like way up there near Alaska, so there's definitely a trend there where summer gets a lot more precipitation than winter. I got Mount Washington, and I'm supposed to stack Mount Washington. Okay.
I think you're a windstorm head.
I think it looks good.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I like the windstorm.
15, 14, 17, 19, 20, 22, 23. July looks like the wettest month. No, wait. 20 in August, 20 in September, 25 in October, and I think this is centimeters. I don't think we get 25 inches.
Yeah, centimeters.
And 21 in November, 19 in December. So that's interesting. February is the driest month.
Yeah. October
Clearly.
brings in some both tropical storms and nor'easters. That's one of the reasons why October is so high.
How many would you do?
This
North
is
Conway?
North Conway, which is just down the hill from there. So it also has.
Oh, you got a wet spot there. Brazil. Good luck with that.
So North Conway also has the most rain in October and November.
That is a good stat right
February.
there.
And of course, January and February, especially February, that's deep in the winter when.
Well, we just hope it's all snow. Hi.
I'm Nolan. Good to see you.
Hey, Nolan.
Hey, good to see you again.
What'd you get?
I got Finland.
Finland.
Yeah, cool, huh?
Looks kind of dry there. In
Dry.
that spot in Finland, anyway.
Yeah. I got 62 for the year.
How fun.
Good to see you again, Tim.
Good to see you.
Nolan.
Work that we're sort of doing right now and is still in progress in operations.
If you're here, this is maybe going to be the most informal thing you're at today. I know it's almost lunchtime. You guys are probably hungry, been sitting for a while, so we'll keep this light. And what we're going to do today is basically, we got 3 meteorologists here, and you know, you see Shiri on TV, and you probably don't see these guys doing too much because they're not on TV, but they're doing really important work, really cool stuff. And I just want everyone to even broadcasting that you just wouldn't know about unless you talk to 3 fantastic experts like this. So we're gonna keep it informal, but to start, guys, you know, we can go one by one, whatever order you want.
I am Sherry Spear. I am a meteorologist at Boston 25 News, so I work the morning shift there. Wake up very, very early in the morning. You're free to ask me what time. We'll make some fun guesses later. But I actually have my undergrad as a math teacher for secondary school. So I got my bachelor's as a teacher, went back and got my master's in atmospheric and environmental sciences right up the street at UMass Lowell.
Hello everyone. I was asked to fill in last minute, but my name is Michael Souza. I'm currently the agency meteorologist for Massachusetts Emergency Management Office, which does all of the DC metropolitan area as well as the Baltimore area as well. And so that's a little bit about me, and I will give it up to Sir.
My name is Sam Collins. I am a meteorological operations specialist with the weather company. Those of you who are in Ashland's, but she was the last presenter in this room, on the same team. I got my degree, my bachelor's from Lincoln State.
And what are the coping mechanisms you do to handle that stress?
Winter.
I'll go first. I think one of the most stressful things for me right now is the competition with other platforms. I think competing with apps, competing with the criticism that you get for a forecast that might be different from an app, and people instantly asking you why. If your forecast is this, like, why is my Apple weather app saying this? Like, I think that is difficult, and I think I handle it the same way I always have, by talking about variability and patterns, like uncertainty in a forecast, and explaining that. Because oftentimes...
Lunch break outdoors. That was Lee Goldberg on TV in New York City who came up. That's great. And me and Tony and everybody hanging out. And so flattering, Lee said that he watched me. He grew up in Canton, right here near the base of Blue Hill. And that's the top of Blue Hill right there. And it's gorgeous. Come south for foliage. And it's so much editing, so much to decide what I want to leave in there. But and we're only halfway through the day. The winter forecast coming up this afternoon. Sunlight, the world's most famous accordion player, and a book by
Herb Willett and Fred Sanders entitled Descriptive Meteorology. And it starts off with defining the basic meteorological elements, and then it goes into some mathematics like the hydrostatic equilibrium, the equation of state.
Sun's out. So I parked next to this vehicle this morning, and I get out, and there's this souped up Subaru with instruments, and it said New England's weatherman. I gotta find that person. Oh, Bill Giles here. Wait, more timeout.
Like it's dry, but that's enough when you got elevation. Oh yeah. We were actually chasing a day in this year. We actually were in northeast Colorado, and then we went to Nebraska.
Wonderful lunch, wonderful networking, new friends, old friends, and look what happened to the sky while we were eating. I don't know how I'm going to include everybody that we've just made friends, and old friends and new friends. And Rick Rosen bringing in that book that was written by Willett, and it was his atmospheric science book when he was at MIT getting his PhD. Thank you, Rick. More and more and more. The world champion accordionist, Corey Pesatoro, huge weather fan, friend of Lee Goldberg and Harvey Leonard. More and more and more. Oh yeah, and then this, launch your meteorology career. Louisville Observatory since 2012. Get personalized coaching from Tim Kelly, drawing a map for the weather on the day you were born. There he is. There we are. There we go. Winter forecast time.
All right, our final talk of the day, the much anticipated winter weather outlook. Will we have a winter this year? We should. Since he is unable to be with us in person today, he's going to have this search group, which is formerly AER.
Winter conference. Regret that I can't be there in person, but appreciate the opportunity to present virtually, and I look forward to receiving feedback following the conference. And we'll use it in the winter months, and kind of very simplistic ideas. Extensive snow cover is conducive to cold air masses. So you're looking at a snow cover expand across Eurasia so far this month compared to recent month, October's. This black dash line is a long-term mean. The deepest red is this October, so always the case now. But it's really focused in the Barents Kara Sea. So, and in the North Pacific, it's close to normal, and here north of Siberia, it's ice-free now, but I expect that will fill in quickly. That's what, at least that's, I think, where the consensus has fallen in the literature. I also believe that El Niño Southern Oscillation will be an important factor, but I myself put it up. Here's our temperature forecast. I do like to present a hemispheric wide forecast.
Gosh, how do you follow through the color? Well, let's start here. This picture right here is last winter. Do you remember the glacier we're all walking around on in January? That happens to be right around the park. Pat Sajak started as a meteorologist, did you know that? Yeah. So back in the day, back in the 70s, this is how you got into TV, a lot of times. You could do weather on TV and be a comedian, and then go do Wheel of Fortune. Or you could be David Letterman, because he also started TV doing weather. That's an actual picture of him in Indianapolis on the air doing weather. The soup comes into play. We are in an easterly QBO. That's a easterly stratospheric wind in the tropics, okay? We're also entering and forecast to stay in a week-long heat. So I went back, not all the way back through the records forever, but back to 1950, which I still think might be too far back given the climate change we've had. But went back to 1950. These are the years that had weak La Niñas and an easterly QBO. Letter salad of all these, right? So out of those, I decided, why? Because I did not see Judah's forecast before I did mine. I did that on purpose. I told him I was going to do that. I did not want to see what he came up with using his methodology versus my methodology. He said 45 inches, and look what I came up with.
Yeah.
I'm as smart as 45 inches. The fact is that either way you look at it, it seemed to come up with the same idea. What would ChatGPT say about this? So I threw a curveball in there. I said, hey, yo, Chat. I found we have a strong easterly QBO, strong data video, week long data. You can find analog years going back just to 1990. Look what it came up with. 05 and 2000, same damn year. So without trying to manipulate anything, just using the way that I just taught from Joe DeLeo about looking at the teleconnections and the analogs, and looking at Dr. Cohen's way, using the snow and the ice.
All right, the conference is just about over. People are straggling out. I moved my car for lunch, but I want to come back and see if I could snag whoever's calling themselves, when accuracy matters, New England's weatherman. Well, he's definitely walks the walk. See if he talks the talk. Hey, here comes somebody now. A couple of young men. I'm gonna mess with his anemometer. Fudge the data. All right, who owns this car?
storm hunter.
And what's your name?
I'm Tyler.
Tyler. Have you ever seen a car like this?
Not in person, no.
Henry?
Incredible.
I've never seen a car like that.
I just know it's Henry because it says so on the front.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tell us your full name and how you
Yeah,
came to design this car.
Henry Swenson, and I run like my own weather channel, Henry's Weather Channel, on social media, Instagram, Facebook. I have my own app now, so on an app store. But yeah, I chased storms. I went to Alabama in March. It was like a 22-hour drive. It was kind of a hike. Intercepted 3 tornadoes that day in Alabama. It was quite the outbreak. But I got all the equipment on here, like the anemometer, lights. If I'm chasing at night, can shine out towards the road and see the damage.
And I got a question about this. Who declared you New England's weatherman?
I heard you did.
Did I declare it?
No, I came up with that. Like I started the channel back in 2017, 2018.
What grade were you in?
Oh, I was in high school. So, yeah.
You guys start so young. I can't keep up with the kids.
Freshman year.
Henry, I'm just kidding around. We've been friends for some time, and I just wanted to say hello and have you pose in front of your car.
Yeah, I think I have the. Show you this.
Yeah. The instruments. Do you have the gauges?
This is the console. So this is everything right now is obviously going in here. So I just keep that in the back, and I'll take it out if there's a storm.
You ever seen anything like this?
No, I mean, I've heard about this. I've seen some of them mounting the devices.
Yeah.
What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm KV. I'm coming from Boston, though, but I'm...
KV?
KV. Yeah.
Tim and Tyler and Henry. Nice to meet you. We're all like-minded people, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
I'll give you more followers.
All right, we've got bonding going on with the young people. I love this. And Teddy, coming from Branford, Connecticut. You're a turf. What do you do?
Plant soil scientist.
Plant soil scientist. And you want to add meteorologist to the...
Sure.
That's a great idea. Definitely. Who are you going to call? Go ahead, let's see the lights.
This one's really good.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
Weather Club. He came up for a tour. Bob Skilly gave him a tour.
Bill, what'd you say? Who was the first speaker when you said
Don Kent.
Don Kent? Who was that? Oh, here he is. Harvey.
He talked
Are you
about.
a photographer for the night?
Does that guy look familiar?
Looks like Don Kent.
Looks like him, yeah.
Is he your son?
Yes.
Videos. And he loves to toboggan. And he would make videos of himself tobogganing in the only area of southern New England they always get snow, which is northern. What town in
North Carolina.
It's a great picture. Please give her a hand.
I didn't expect to say anything tonight because we wanted to keep this short and not go on and on, but I just wanted to say that this man is a class act, head to toe, day and night. The most respectful person of everybody on the team, working to make us better, leading us truly through some challenging times, a renovation of 2 years, always has his eye on the prize. And we're only standing here today because of Charlie Orloff, honestly. And I can't thank him enough from the bottom of my heart.
Surgeon, Dr. Mitzinger right there. And I launched a new nonprofit science center at Blue Hill Observatory. It was cautiously supported by the state's Department of Conservation and Recreation and funded by a modest grant from the Enemy Stearns Foundation, which would become a highly successful program.
Of how we were going to do an educational programming if we ever got control of the building. We finally got control of the building in 1998, and then that's when Charlie's career took off.
Another person sitting right here, who you all came to see, Dr. Uccellini. Louis, you've just been incredible. Most people would never know, but when we were in really hard times, you think they're bad now. They were cutting the budgets right and left
So let me just say this. First of all, how did I meet Charlie in the first place? When I became the director for the Meteorological Operations Division, folks in the Weather Service, Joe Schaefer, who was running the training center, wanted me to come out. But I asked Joe one question, what kind of questions are they going to ask? Right? And he says, oh, you know, they just, you know, how do we make that forecast? How do we make this forecast? Okay. So I go and I give this talk to the first group, and there's this guy sitting about halfway into this, and he says, can you talk a little bit about that gravity wave paper you wrote? It was him. I go, gravity waves, you know, high school. So I went into this whole gravity wave spiel. I lost the rest of the crowd. So that was Charlie, and it stuck with me.
And hard work to bring the observatory to where it is now, a treasure of valuable data for weather and climate scientists, and
You're a hero in my book, I'll tell you. I don't know whether I ever told you this, but you didn't take the road not traveled. You went to the education thing instead. You know, what a great legacy. And frankly, I think the Blue Hill Observatory is still only in existence because of you. Your commitment, your drive, your way with people. I said you're a real hero in my book.
Okay, and all of us, of course, have come to know the importance. And we not only thank you and Dr. Minsinger, of course, for helping to make Blue Hill what it is, but one of the lasting impressions is that you have always been so supportive of the broadcast meteorology community in this area. And it's rubbed off.
Orloff for his outstanding, unwavering leadership. In 1998, Mr. Orloff founded a new science center at the Blue Hill Observatory and served as executive director for 27 years. He established education programs that have motivated thousands of aspiring meteorologists and scientists while ensuring the continuity of the observatory's climate record. In partnership with the National Weather Service, Mr. Orloff launched the signature Weather and Climate Conference and played a key role in safeguarding and sustaining this nationally recognized historic landmark through 2 significant renovation projects. His efforts have fostered a dedicated community, all of you of course, that will consist Blue Hill Observatory, and this is for you to take home, so you know exactly how we feel about you.